Sustaining Creativity podcast. I'm your host, Mari Riesberg. Over the past several years, I've combined my degrees in acting and somatic psychology to share my sustaining creativity techniques with performers. And now I've decided to share it with a bigger audience that includes you. I believe we are all creative, and this podcast is all about that. I'll be interviewing people from all backgrounds, ages, and creativity experiences to share just how creative we all are. Today, I'll be chatting with Raphael Williams. He goes by Lil Jockey. He's a recent college graduate, multi-talented creator, podcaster, DJ, and editor of videos of all kinds. Please enjoy Raphael Williams. Welcome to the Sustaining Creativity podcast. Today, I am here with Raphael Williams, aka Lil Jockey. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And it was going to be a great time.
Oh, yes, we always have a great time here on the Sustaining Creativity podcast, talking about creativity. And before we dive in, if you would be so kind as to let our listeners know a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Well, Raphael Williams is my name, but I go by Lil Jockey on social media. You can find me on social media at Instagram. That's the only place I'm really on. And mostly, I just spend my time being creative. Podcasting, have a podcast called From My Mama Crib, edit music videos. I DJ. I try to be a creative person as much as I can, just enjoying life, being young, doing whatever I can just to keep my mind active. Still broke, but trying to figure it out along the way, of course.
I like that little caveat. Still broke. Recent college graduate too.
Recent college graduate, yeah. So, broke. But I don't mean to harp on that, but it's
it's real. We keep it real. It's all good.
Real.
Yeah. Well, welcome and thank you for
having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to chat about creativity. I love what you said about kind of keeping your mind active and creative and all of the creative pursuits from video editing and DJing and
whatever I can get my hands on. For
yeah.
Real. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, when you think about creativity, what does it mean to you to be creative?
Honestly, I'm not really sure what it means to me to be creative. It's just like creativity to me is just like kind of life, to be honest. I mean, that may be like a weird way of thinking about it, or like, I don't want people to think I'm like a hippie or anything, but like really just being outside, looking at the world, soaking it in. I feel like that's creativity. And a lot of times I feel like, at least me personally, like I use my productivity as a gauge for my creativity, but I don't really think that's a good way to think about it, just because it can put a cap on the things that you're able to do on a day-to-day. I think just being creative is just about putting your energy out to the world and trying to learn from whatever you see and, receive whatever energy is you're putting out and try to receive that back, and not really worry what other people are doing or worry what other people think about what you're doing. Just live your day and just, I don't know, soak it all in. Like when you really look at your surroundings and you just look at stuff, you'll pull inspiration from all types of places, experiences. You'll be surprised.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love the like soaking it all in. We are kind of like sponges as humans, if we give ourselves permission to take in our surroundings, like you said, our environment, the things that we see, passions we have. So I love that. I don't think it's hippie at all. It's a real.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Especially in this world, like where everybody can be so judgmental and people can just make you feel bad. And then you create something and you wonder if everyone's going to like it, or you wonder, oh, can I be like, people are always worrying about blowing up or being the next star or whatever, that they can't focus on just being themselves and being authentic and just doing stuff for just the sake of doing it. They always have to do stuff to go viral or do stuff to get views or to get affirmation, and that's where I feel like a lot of people can go wrong. Just be yourself and just enjoy what you're doing for the sake of doing it.
Yeah. So how do you enjoy what you're doing for the sake of doing it? What do you do?
Honestly, I try. Like I'm bad at following my own advice. I'll give people advice and I won't follow the advice that I give others. I try to really just like, whenever I face those times, I just try to just focus on what like what made me start doing what I was doing in the first place. And usually it's just expressing myself or making others smile, making others happy, even if it's not everybody in the world, even if it's just 10 people, 5 people, you know, at the root of that, that's still a good feeling. So that's why I just try to focus on just the root of like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And usually that helps me, you know, carry myself forward.
Yeah, I love that reminder. I think it's something many people forget because we get caught up. I know even myself, I get caught up in the like, how many people have seen it? How many people did it? What is the impact? Where is it going?
The impression and all that.
Yeah. And to that reminder of why did I do this in the first place? Where is this coming from? And I think something else that it made me think of was like, what joy does it bring me to put it out in the world too?
Exactly. For sure.
I love that. It's an important reminder. So thanks for that.
No problem. No problem. That's what I'm here for.
Wonderful. Well, I imagine that you bump up against some challenges with creativity. And how do you face your own creative challenges?
Honestly, you know, it's a little cliche, but just like Nike said, just do it. Like, I honestly, you know it's already trademarked and stuff like that, but that's the best advice that I have for myself. Like, whenever I hit a creative wall, if I can do something when I really don't want to, then doing it when I do want to should just be way easier. It should be a breeze. So that's really how I look at it, because there's really no answer for facing creative challenges. Like, there's no answer for like writer's block or something like that. If you're trying to get into character for a play or a show or whatever, and you can't tap into that character, there's really no answer. You just have to live your life, and inspiration will hit, something will strike, and you just have to just do it. Sometimes you just force yourself to try to be whatever you want to be or try to do whatever you want to do. And from there, you know, things will happen. But it's when you think about it too much and you start to put pressure on yourself, because that's probably the only reason you're not doing it, putting pressure on yourself. Even like something like exercising and working out, doing it is the easiest part. Is getting up and getting into it that's the hardest part. Like thinking about it, like, oh, I gotta run a mile, I'm gonna sweat. But when you're in it, you're enjoying it. You don't want to stop. So that's kind of like the same thing, just with everything. You just gotta start doing it, and then when it's done, you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, it's really it reminds me of like speaking to that mindfulness, being really mindful of, I don't want to do it now. When I do it, I feel better. I'm going to do it. Just like taking it one piece at a time. And makes me think of also that phrase, like fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Sure. Now you gotta trick yourself, man. You gotta trick yourself. Like tricking kids into eating vegetables and stuff. You gotta trick yourself into doing work. You know, adults are just big kids. That's what I'm coming to realize. So you gotta trick your brain.
And that's really creativity at play, so to speak.
Yeah. Everything. I'm telling you.
It's so true. And I love it. I love the idea of kind of tricking yourself, and you don't want to do it, and finding ways to buy in, so to speak.
Sure. Yeah, just to motivate yourself, whatever you can do.
What are the things that you find you have to trick yourself into these days?
Mainly with like my video editing. Sometimes it could get I could just demotivate myself. You know, I've been doing it for such a long time, and I get into the mode when I start to think about, what am I making? Is it gonna be popular? Are people gonna like it? That's the thing that'll usually, and also the work that I have to put in to make the type of product that I want to make. That's the usually thing that holds me back. So, or like that I usually have to like psych myself up to do, just because I'll start to think about everything that could go wrong, rather than just thinking about having fun making what I like making. You know, I start thinking about, what if other people don't like it and stuff. And, you know, who cares about that? Because it has nothing to do with me. You know, honestly, I should just focus on stuff that I want to focus on because I want to do it, not because others want me to.
Yeah. So are there like phrases, like things you tell yourself, or things that you go and do to come back to?
No, not really. Like, not like specific things. Like, I don't have like a phrase that I go like, I think I can type thing. Like, I don't really do it. I really just gotta just do it. Like, I just gotta just tell myself, it's like I kick myself in the butt, and I'm just like, yo, man, just just do it, dude. Because you're gonna like, if anything, I'll tell myself, when you're done, you're gonna feel so good about yourself. Or you're gonna, or if you don't do it, you're gonna feel bad about yourself. So that's why I try to do to motivate myself. Just like, how will your future self feel? I guess that's how I kind of motivate myself. Think about my future self.
That's a great way to motivate yourself. Like you want to feel that way. So tell yourself that's how you will feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's simple when you break it down. You just got to put it into practice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm really curious what your earliest memory of being creative is.
I feel like we could all relate to this in some way, but just like, I just remember just like being young and like just playing with toys and like giving them like voices and superpowers and something like that's probably when I was like 6 or 7 or something like that. But I'm sure we all did that stuff, you know, like just little random stuff or talking to yourself or whatever. It's just like, just kids are just creative. You just find ways to just make something out of nothing all the time. Just because, especially before phones, I feel like I don't remember what we did without phones, honestly. But I remember when we didn't have them, we had to find ways to be entertained by the universe. You know, we couldn't really just rely on this device that has millions of distractions on it to keep us occupied for hours a day. You know, if your favorite TV show isn't on, then you have to find something else to do. You got to go play basketball or play with your friends or draw or read or something, you know? So honestly, like, that's what I used to do. Now I just get on my phone, which sucks. I don't like it. I really don't. I hate my phone so much. Jeez Louise.
Well, if you could bring some of the things that you did in childhood forward into your adulthood, what would they be?
Probably more going outside, more enjoying like nature. I feel like I would like to play with toys. Playing with toys never really stopped being fun. I just grew up, so I wasn't allowed to really do it anymore. People would look at me like I'm crazy. But playing with toys that's something that I would still do if it was acceptable in society.
Well, who says it isn't? I mean, there is
saying.
A TV show about building Legos. So why not play with toys?
That's what I'm saying. But it's just like, do I got to go to the store and buy them and then take them back? And then people come to my house like, yo, are these Power Rangers? And I'm like, no.
Yes, they are.
They are Power Rangers. I'm proud that they are. That's what I got to tell them. But I mean, just like trying to just, make something out of nothing. And, I guess not having a phone, that really would be the thing I would bring into my adulthood. Like not having this bailout of a device, like having to rely on myself and my brain and my creativity to entertain myself and to learn rather than, always just looking at my iPhone 24/7.
Right. I love that, the bailing you out phrase that you just said. That I feel speaks volumes, because I think so many of us are looking to be bailed out. We want a break. It's an easy fix. And yet when we think about what we actually want, it might be really different.
Exactly.
Yeah. You bring up such a valid, important piece to think about. And
I feel like we forget about that sometimes, like, because we're always in our phone. Like, we don't really think, you know what I'm saying? We're bored. We just like, I'll pick up my phone and I'll open an app I just closed 15 seconds ago, just because muscle memory. Like, I just open Instagram just to see, and I'll be on my phone like, what am I looking at? Like, I'm sick of this, but I don't know what else to do.
Right.
So, I start to get stuck in that. So that would be like the one thing I want to fix or I want to change about myself.
Get outside without your phone. That way,
Even though that's terrifying, like, oh, what if there's a fire? There's no fire.
Right.
There's no fire. Like, no way. It's probably not gonna be like that. You're gonna be okay without your phone.
Yeah, but it's that security blanket too, like that security safety net. Oh, I don't like talking to people, so I can be on my phone and they won't talk to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, when you think of inspiration in your life, who or what inspires you these days?
I mean, honestly, like everything. Like, I'm inspired by just like the smallest things, like life, family, nature, media, art, different things. Like even you and you're inspiring me. That plant, your design, the way you laugh, the way you talk, the questions you ask. I pull inspiration out of literally everything that I could possibly, think of, that I can see in some way, form, or fashion, just because I have a deep appreciation just for life. I just, everybody, you don't get to be here forever, and it's really a blessing that you are here once. And then we're also in a great country that gives you a lot of opportunity. So I try not to take none of those things for granted. Sometimes I do, but I try not to. And I feel like just appreciating that and appreciating your surroundings and what you do have and not necessarily what you don't have. A lot of times you will find inspiration in that. You'll find creativity in that. Specifically, I mean, a lot of music, a lot of, TV shows, cartoons, stuff like that. But I can't really be specific. Like, it's everything, all artists, all, I just appreciate stuff. So it's just like, I like to know, who made it, how they made it, what their life was like, and pull creativity, pull inspiration out of that. That's how I go about things.
Yeah. I mean, it's like such a 360 view of, looking at something, how they made it, who made it, what their story is, what it took to go in that. I think that's a really clever or unique way of finding inspiration in different pieces that you're interested in.
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects of life, that, little nuances that we look over every single day. But if you just take the time to just like look at the clouds and just look how they are spaced out, how they're singular, but they all look like different strands of whatever. I don't even know what they are. It's just like, I just looking at it, I'm like, man, that's beautiful. It's just like, I look at the sky like, man, it's so blue. These trees they grow, they're so high, it's so green. I know I sound like a hippie, but it's just like, it's just an appreciation. It's just like, how can I not appreciate what I'm looking at, in some way, form, or fashion? It's just it's a beautiful world,
Yeah, I just really hear your love of nature and your love of things that inspire you. It's not hippie, like it's you. Own that. Own it. Own who you are. Yeah.
I'm trying my best.
It's so wonderful. I mean, I too am inspired by those things and watching clouds and different shapes that they turn into and having that spark some story or character or an idea. Yeah, it's awesome.
It is.
So keep doing it.
I got you. I'm not gonna stop.
Good. And having just graduated college, you're kind of in, I guess I'm totally making an assumption, in a bit of a limbo in terms of like community. So leaving the community of college and entering kind of adult community in a different fashion. How do you feel your community impacts or influences your creativity right now?
I mean, honestly, it's not really a good thing. And I feel like a lot of us can get stuck in this, especially with the smartphone, not trying to make excuses, but like sometimes you'll make that your community. You'll make Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff and Twitter, your retweets and that your community. But like, I've made myself like my own community, and it can really get tough because I try to rely on myself for everything creative, from the initial idea to the execution of it. I'm doing everything, it feels like. And well, I know. And I'm introverted, so I don't really interact with others as much as I would want to, which is something I'm trying to change. So like, this can just make being creative just more difficult. But whenever I'm out with others, I try to be very observant of my surroundings. Whenever I do, that creativity usually sparks for me. But it can really get hard, like trying to, especially like you're in college. I just graduated, but like, you're kind of forced to be around new people all the time, whether that's at the lunch hall or in different classes or just walking around. Also, your friends are really close, so they're always going to try to talk to you and hit you up just to go anywhere. But when you graduate and people start to drift apart and stuff like that, you realize that you have to actually put in effort and like really try to, if there's something that you want to do, it's usually not just going to fall in your lap, and at a certain time, people are going to stop randomly trying to hang out with you or whatever. You'll have to put in that extra effort to build your own community. It's not always going to be brought to you, so that's something that I'm coming to realize, and I'm trying to be better at, because I know it takes a village to raise a child. So, I know I gotta try and get people around me that, want to support me and that I want to support.
Yeah. And it takes a village to be an adult.
Exactly.
It doesn't end in childhood.
Exactly.
You gotta
You gotta
keep
keep
coming.
going. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, your awareness of what kind of your self-reliant
Mm-hmm.
capacity, I think is huge. And that you want, like actively taking those steps to
Be better.
build that community and have those people in your life. So you can, I mean, I love bouncing ideas off of other people and
Exactly.
getting feedback, and having that creativity community is so great.
It's a good feeling.
It is a good feeling. I agree. It makes, yeah, there's something about like celebrating your successes and challenges with someone else that
Oh
makes
yeah,
it
exactly.
not so difficult.
Yeah, you don't gotta bear it all yourself, you know. You could
Yeah.
just you could rely on others. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, we've talked a lot about this, and you have shared so many awesome nuggets of ideas of how to be creative and do creative things. But if you were to encourage others to find creativity in their lives, how would you do that?
Um Honestly, just I don't just really just try. Like you gotta try to want to be creative or try to want to be inspired. Like you gotta be positive. At least that's just my way of thinking about it. Like smile at things that make you happy, you know, laugh more at yourself and at your surroundings. Just be observant of whatever's around you. Find the value in it. It's like I said earlier, just try to find the value in everything. And eventually you will find the creativity that lies beneath the surface. You just have to be really attentive. Like for me, this may not be for everybody, but just for me,
Yeah.
find myself being attentive, observant, talking to people, just pulling out whatever I can, and a lot of laughter. I love comedy. I feel like that's where a lot of my creativity comes from, just from laughing at stuff that I just find to be funny. Just trying to and just enjoy my time, enjoy every day. Try not to get too sad or too negative because it can be real easy to do that,
Mhm.
and but then you start to lose sight of things that are important and lose sight of yourself. So I think just focusing on being positive and just trying to find the bright side of things. Everybody's not a glass half full thinker, but
It's true.
even if the glass is half empty, try to find a way to get creative to fill up the rest of the glass. I don't know, but you just gotta, you just gotta think about it in different ways. Just try to reframe the way you think. It's tough,
Yeah.
but it's doable.
Yeah. Those are great ideas. I love the reminder to laugh more. That's
Mm-hmm.
super important. I
Very
too
important.
love laughing, but
Yeah,
also to, you know, look for things that inspire you and are creative and bring you joy. That's
yeah,
another great idea. And to just try new things too. What have
exactly,
you got to lose, right?
exactly. You don't want to try nothing too crazy because you could lose something, but
That is true. Good
but
caveat there.
I was like, but definitely, step outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, good reminders. Well, I just
Okay.
have one last question for you.
For it.
What does it feel like in your body to be creative?
Um, I don't know. Like, what is the feeling I get when I'm being creative?
Sure.
Or
Or does it feel expansive or spacious? Or what do you
I feel
feel like?
connected. Like
Connected. Good word.
whenever I'm creative, it's like I feel like I'm connected.
Mm,
I don't know, just like mentally in a space, it's just like I just go to a different place and it's just like I just feel connected with whatever I'm doing and just like try to think of myself as like I'm not in this universe anymore. I'm in
mm,
my separate universe being creative. I'm not really worried about what everybody else is doing or what they're thinking. It's more so I'm connected with what I'm doing and the people that did this before me, who inspired me to do this and just
mm,
all that stuff. But more than anything, I just feel connected. Like I feel like I'm fulfilling purpose. Like
mm.
I'm pushing the narrative forward. I'm helping others. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I look at it. That's how I feel.
That is so beautiful. Connection.
I
I
think
love it. What a great way to wrap up our conversation.
I agree.
And before we end, if you just remind people how they can get in touch with you, where they can find your podcast.
So my podcast is available on all platforms called From My Mama Crib, MAMA, because I'm hip, I'm a Black man, so I try to use slang wherever I can. But yeah, so From My Mama Crib on all platforms, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, or podcasts, all that stuff. Also, I'm on social media at Lil Jockey, LILJOCKEY. That's the only social media platform I'm on because my YouTube was deleted because of copyright. My Twitter was deleted because of copyright with music. So yeah, Instagram still loves me. So if you want to find me, you can see me on Instagram. It also has a link to my podcast and other stuff that I do. So if you just want to be around my presence, whatever, for whatever reason, I don't know, that's how you can find me. Email, you don't want to email me, but if you want to DM me, ask me questions, email me at liljockey123@gmail.com. It's all good. I love talking to people. I love interacting with others. So hit me up. I got you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom and nuggets of information. It's been such a treat.
I appreciate it. It's been a treat being on the show. I really appreciate it. Great show. I love you. I love your energy. You're awesome.
Thank you so much. And to our listeners out there, if you are looking to engage with your own creativity or awaken creativity in a new way, please click the link in the show notes and sign up for our Awakening Creativity free 7-day challenge or our free Awakening Creativity guide. You can find all that information in the show notes. And I can't wait to have you all tune back in next week. Thanks for listening to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. We'd love to keep in touch, so follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are at Sustaining Creativity. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Tag your friends and family so they can listen too. We love to hear from you, so leave your reviews, comments, and questions. Check out our website, sustainingcreativity.com, for upcoming offerings and creativity coaching. Tune in Tuesdays for our next episode. And remember, with creativity, anything's possible.